It's September 11th, 2021. Alexander came to see me. I did a video earlier. While I'm here, I worked something, state of New York. The local real estate industry worked off of something. They had an association that you had to join called NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors. Except I saw multiple nations being accepted. Then they had something called MLS, which is the Multiple Listing Service. That was just the local real estate office where you took like continuing education about how to work the minimal database of homes that were input for sale on Long Island. But it was a very like small boutique. Then one of my continuing educations, I got something called a GRI, which was the Graduate Real Estate Institute. It was a couple of certificates. There was somebody who taught finance. There was somebody who taught all different pieces of real estate. But it's not something that I have an active working memory of because none of it was really significant. Perhaps the professors were, or whoever was teaching the class, because they needed to get in front of me to have continuing education for themselves and some face-to-face time with me in a classroom. But there was no global nor international work or market from the brokerage that I was working within. They were like boutique. They were called Realogy. So the main umbrella firm, I guess, was Realogy. And then in between that was something called a Century 21. And there's a few others. The local ones, Coldwell Banker, Century 21. I don't know if Exit belonged to that. I don't know how that part of the industry works, but Realogy was one piece, and then it was some kind of a franchise business. But again, I'm not big on franchises. I'm not big on lawyers. I'm not big on humans. And this disgusting arrangement, it never works out for the business owner. It is just a disgusting waste of time that the locals have invested in just to waste my time. Or to make some alternate version of a social society which doesn't actually exist. So I have to think about this. So I don't know, and it actually looks to me like it's more dangerous because in one hand, it lures out international shitbags that don't belong here into some federal housing and agreement with national. But they're multinational shitbags that attend these events. So now, like, are you tracking down the shitbags that are here illegally? Because it seems like the New York market's, like, really getting very heated up rather than becoming more icy. Just saying. I mean, if we're counting roast beefs versus turkeys, I know they still serve turkey. But I see a lot of roast beef walking around thinking that they own the place. And thinking that they're calling the shots. Just saying. So that's a problem. I gotta think about this. There was something else that was really important on this particular day, and now it totally eludes me. This is that partial amnesia and the problem with the working memory and short-term memory. Ben suffered from short-term memory loss as well when he was little. He had to really work on it. I'm going to pause this for a second because I know I need to put this inside the same video. That's right. I forgot. Okay, so, like I said, Alexander came today, and I did a physician's body inspection, but, like, I mean, I don't ever, like, you know, I mean, my children are older now, and they're whatever. So, my son had a short sleeve shirt on. I wound up sitting next to him, and then I wound up just picking his sleeve up ever so gently and looking at the back of his arm from his shoulder to his elbow. He has what looks like an extremophile or a halophile. You know, I mean, like, I don't want to say it looks infected but it's small pinpricks on the back of his arm and on the side of his arm. It's not pimples, but the dermatitis that it is almost looks like if you take a tardigrade or a halophile and it got sick after it chiggered itself underneath the epidermal surface and it couldn't get itself out, but it died and it's just residing in there, and it caused a weird red speckle underneath the skin. It's that kind of, I mean, like, again, my human, if I was Linda, I would say, and I did say to him, I said, did you change your soap? I was like, it might be allergic reaction to the soap that you're using. He doesn't know. I'm like, is there a name on the bar of the soap? He's like, I don't know, Mom. And I'm like, what about on the box of the soap before you open it, before you use it? Do you know that one? No, I don't read the box. I'm like, he's like, I don't do that. I'm like, all right. I was like, what about the soap that you wash your clothes in, love? I was like, what? And he's like, it's Tide. I'm like, yeah, no, that's fine. The ingredients should still be the same. Because I'm looking for some kind of, like, dermal irritant. And now I'm just going through my list of what survivor mentality and a prisoner of war when I'm an MIB recipient, like, vocational. I'm supposed to be moved, and I'm stuck here in an MIA. Like, totally single and solo and separate. Now I got carbon copies that are, having trouble raising and keeping safe. So I don't know what that's about. He says that Daniel has them on his skin also. Now, Daniel and Alexander are two totally different paternal orders and epigenics. They're not from the same catalog of woven. Then Alexander informed me, because, again, I didn't want to be too intrusive, but I did want to, since I'm the only one who really knows to even look for these things, he did have some small, not, well, I want to say whiteheads, but they're really not. I mean, kind of, sort of, but not really, just eczema-like on the, well, that's what they call it, on the surface, which is a microbiological whatever, and I don't have a microscope to look underneath and take samples and scrapes, and we're not at that level of laboratory in my sheetrock prison. But he also says that he has the chigger-like infected tardigrade marks on his upper thigh. It's not, I checked his calf, like, real gently, but he did show me where he has signs of it on his upper thigh. I have no remedy for this in the field. I have no idea what's causing it either, but it's something in his acclimate, and it's something in his biomatrix and metrics. Also at the table in front of Benjamin and him tonight, Lewis and Linda were there. And I mentioned Hectores because Lewis said something really stupid. He's such a fucking shitbag. I even said to Alexander tonight, I go, listen to me. Here's the thing I hate about him, and here's what I did. I said, I didn't introduce him into your everyday because he's like a walking, talking billboard for everything wrong in the world. And I don't want him to sponsor your life being thrown off course because he uses the wrong words and sponsors the wrong products because he's a dumb fucking useless piece of shit. So I've kept him out of your life for a long time. I was like with very little minimal, and I never said anything bad about him, but if you want to know why, he didn't spend a lot of time with you growing up, just short visits on a very itemized yearly whatever. I was like, that's it. I was like, that's the reason why. I was like, but now I can't even, if he's polluting the air with something during a roast beef season that's out of control and turkeys disappearing in your life and for your mentorship and for your future, this is a problem. Apparently there was some Chinese restaurant guy, looking guy, who was working as a physical therapist for Alexander's rotator cuff problem. That's a problem. Because that's an MLB problem. At physical therapy. Then I had, and I had a groping problem. I mean, I've had several groping problems. There was somebody by the name of Corey. I don't know his last name. He was Haitian. He was in St. John's preparatory school that I graduated 95, 96 class year. He kissed me in front of the entire school. I almost fucking puked. But I was like, like, this is not good. Like, I mean, the whole fucking school saw it. Where do you report that level of disgust and social engineering fucking nightmare? Then there's, so that happened. I don't know if he bled through his mouth or nose, and whatever people sponsored him to do that in public. There was another one, PJ Gregoretti in St. Dominic's. He had Augie DeStefano friend. That's a problem. That was in Mr. Guido's mathematics class. They used to try to talk to me all class and pass me notes and things, and I'm like, I really need to pay attention. I was like, how about I write you something in a different class and I'll hand it to you at the front of class and that'll be it, because I got to pay attention to more important things. And then, so that's another interferon problem throughout the New York shitbag pubics that I was sent to go be amongst. Then I've got Anthony Robbins, not Tony Robbins, not like the super motivational speaker, but some shitbag Tony Robbins, who looks more like if you steeped a tea bag until it got really, really dark, and then you add a little bit of creamer in it, and it has that weird color of like dishwater. He's that color. And he's some big technology guru or whatever they call themselves. And he was driving a BMW. He once offered me a hug, H-U-G, and I'm like, that's weird. No. I was like, and don't call me again. Then in Bayside, he tracked me down somehow. And then I said, you know what, I am looking for a job. He said, what if we go to Starbucks? I said, fine. I live around the corner. So he picked me up and drove me around the corner in his white BMW. We get out, and then he's like, come here. He's like, I just want to give you a hug. And I'm like, really? I was like, he's like, you just really look like you need a hug. And I'm like, yeah? And I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. So I go to give him a hug real quick, like innocently enough, like a professional hug. And then all of a sudden he was trying to kiss me, and was like Pepe I need a minute. I need a minute. Leave.
No.
I need a minute.
It's just bedtime.
I get it. I need 1 minute. Leave for a second. Thank you. Just give me a second. So he wrapped his arms around my waist and I kept pushing back and I'm like, I am not comfortable with this. No, I don't want to hug. No, I don't want to kiss. No, I'm not. Whatever. And then that goes unreported. There's a whole lot of this groping and unwanted touching in this New York scenario as I'm just going about my daily business trying to get myself to Nicolaus, who I belong to, in a genetic sequence closet of epigenetics that I enjoy looking at and being around. And instead, I'm stuck in some roast beef fight with a turkey. And it seems to be only one turkey because, I mean, I don't understand how they got outnumbered. And I'm just one white girl and I need a cantilever to like... Can I get a cantilever from Providence up in Canada? I mean, like anybody? Steve Morris, perhaps? I don't know. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. September 11th, 2021. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, and Galaxies Still Broken.